Everyone, I'm Michael Lee, Solutions Engineer at DJI. Welcome to this training session on Smart 3D Capture, Explore, and Obstacle Sensing Module for your DJI Matrice 4. Whether you're new to DJI Enterprise drones or looking to optimize your mapping operations, we're going to dive into how these accessories can enhance safety, efficiency, and precision. Let's start with some key accessories. So on the left, we have our Manifold 3. It's a compact, high-performance onboarding computing unit. On the right is an obstacle sensing module, or OSM, which adds advanced LiDAR-based avoidance. These optional add-ons for the Matrice 4 is designed to integrate seamlessly and unlock smarter and safer flights. So moving on to the obstacle sensing module in detail. This LiDAR accessory enables horizontal and upward obstacle avoidance, capable of detecting and avoiding thin 12mm wires at speeds up to 15 meters per second. So I'm going to show you guys in this video right here kind of how it works. So the Matrice 4 has a built-in millimeter wave radar on the bottom for downward sensing. So when this is used, it's able to provide a full omnidirectional avoidance as shown in the auto avoidance right here in this video. So you can see this is being flown in a substation and it's able to avoid some of these obstacles. Quite impressive. So what are some of the key benefits of the obstacle sensing module? Well, it offers high precision sensing for better maneuverability around complex layouts, so such as substations seen in the previous video, and also power lines of sorts. The LiDAR and the radar integration essentially is able to ensure accurate detection and navigation. Also, as an adaptable add-on, it is being able to be equipped with the DJI Matrice 4D series and also the Matrice 4 series for any challenging environments. So ultimately, it's going to improve operational safety and deliver reliable performance in complex or cluttered areas that you'll be flying in. Now let's explore the Manifold 3, a high-performance onboard computing unit. So it's powerful yet compact, and it's able to deliver up to 100 TOPS of computing power with support for parallel acceleration via GPU and DLA cores. So this is ideal for model interface and edge AI tasks. Also, at only 120 grams, this will affect some of the flight time, but since the weight is so little, this will be minimal. This makes it a big game changer for any real-time processing without sacrificing the battery life. Building on that, the Manifold 3 fully supports Payload SDK v3, ensuring compatibility with underlying communication protocols for efficient access to flight platform sensor data. It also offers native support for hardware-accelerated video encoding and decoding. This allows for fast access to video streams, payload control, and any flight functions. This SDK integration makes it easier to develop custom applications tailored to your needs. The Manifold 3 serves as an intelligent computing platform, so third-party developers can directly tap into its power and integrate with PSDK to create high-performance end-to-end solutions. So from data acquisition all the way to task execution. This is going to open up lots of possibilities for any automated workflows in industries such as surveying, inspection, and mapping. Development is very straightforward with the Manifold 3. It runs on Ubuntu OS, allowing convenient installation and execution of Linux software. It supports tools like CUDA and OpenCV, plus you have the ability to SSH into the Manifold for any remote debugging. Developers can flexibly leverage PSDK features and onboard resources to build powerful applications, all powered by open computing, making it accessible for custom innovations. Now going into the Smart 3D Capture and Explore, I'm going to go over the traditional Smart 3D Capture. So this requires the Matrice 4E and the remote controller. Essentially, the processing, this is the big difference, is that the processing will be done on the controller up to 400 photos. So in order to create that rough model, it will need to be processed on the RC Plus 2, or you have the ability to do that in FlyHub 2. workflow wise, so what would happen is you would fly a oblique mission or a route to capture that data in order to get that rough model, and you would have to either land or hover and use the RC to process a rough model. And once that rough model is processed, you're able to generate a precise route using that rough model that you generated on the RC. So during the flight, what you'll see is standard video feed and map view. And this workflow, the Smart 3D Capture workflow, is good for occasional projects or workflows where maybe the Manifold 3 isn't available. So now going into the Smart 3D Capture and Explore, you will still have the drone, the controller, and the Manifold 3 module. Essentially what's able to happen is that the rough model is able to be processed on the drone via the Manifold 3 in real time. So the workflow is a little different. So the drone is able to autonomously explore, process, and plan routes in real time without stopping. So the big difference in this one is that instead of processing that rough model on the RC, that rough model is automatically being processed while you're flying it on the Manifold 3 to essentially generate a rough model, and then from there you're still able to get a precise route around a rough model. So real-time feedback, you're able to get real 3D rough model generation during the flight. So this is super useful for complex, large, or any unknown environments requiring rapid autonomous mapping. So I've designed this little workflow chart for you to fully understand. So the traditional workflow with the Smart 3D Capture is that you would fly the route to capture data for your rough model. In order to generate that rough model, you would have to use the RC or Flight Hub 2. So you'd land or hover while the RC processes that rough model. Once that rough model is generated, you're able to create a precise route from that rough model, and then you're able to execute your mission and get a survey quality report. With the Manifold 3, you have the ability to enable the Smart 3D Capture and Explore. So because of that Manifold, all you would essentially need to do is define your boundaries, and you would be able to complete an automatic spatial scan, and the data is then essentially processed on board on the Manifold mid-flight to generate a precise route. And then you would fly the mission, and then you'd also get your survey quality report. So let's break down the Smart 3D Capture. So this function supports capturing data and creating a rough model right on the remote controller. So from there, it can quickly generate a precise mapping route that hugs the structure's surface at about 1 meter or 3 feet-ish. The value, it makes detailed modeling and measurement of irregular buildings easy. Currently supported right now on the Matrice 4E and the Matrice 400 and P1. Okay, so step 1 in the Smart 3D Capture is getting that rough model. So in order to get that rough model, you have to fly the Matrice 4E for a quick on-site mapping mission. You would then essentially use Pilot 2, select your photos, and create that rough point cloud using the RC. We recommend an oblique flight to capture multiple angles of the target, keeping it at 400 photos or fewer. Once you've flown that, what you're going to do now is essentially flight route planning. So you've generated the model, you've flown it, you generated the model, and now you're able to do flight route planning. So after defining your survey area, a 3D flight plan is generated automatically. You can set parameters like speed and shooting distance and use the refine model feature to add any obstacles or manually include elements like water surfaces if reconstruction fails. Now the third step is going to be flight route execution. So what you want to do is upload the planned route to the Matrice 4E and let it fly. So during execution, any of the auxiliary images help determine direction, and you could set breakpoints to skip risky sections. You can also customize these breakpoints easily by adjusting task percentages in the app, ensuring safe, efficient captures as seen on this controller screen. So you can see that precise route flying very close to that building. Finally, last step is step 4 in the Smart 3D Capture is the survey quality report. So once the flight is done, you simply select the route in the app to pull up this on-site evaluation tool. This is going to help you assess the capture quality without any delay, so you can cover essentials like the area captured, overlap rate, flight path execution progress, mechanical shutter disorder correction quality, total photo count, and RTK positioning status. This feature is a huge time saver because it essentially allows you to spot and fix any issues right in the field before packing up. So shifting gears to the Smart 3D Explorer. This is where we're able to take things to the next level by integrating that Manifold 3 with the DJI Matrice. This combo unlocks real-time spatial mapping and automatic route planning, even in completely unknown environments. The Manifold 3 is able to handle rough model generation during the flight and streams it straight to your remote controller. From there, you can swiftly create precise routes that conform to the object's geometrics. The big win, you able to model essentially complex structures accurately and efficiently in just one field operation, so there's no back and forth trips where you have to land or hover and process that model on the controller. So how the Smart 3D Explorer handles autonomous exploration and processing to quickly build a rough cloud model for unmapped structures. So step one, you're going to define your boundaries. So in this step right here, you can see we're going to turn on the feature. So once that feature is turned on, you can name it. You have different options for horizontal or vertical. So you can choose to scan the entire structure or just one face. And then right here, you can see we're drawing the parameters around the building. So you can click C1 to add any points, or C2 if you want to remove any points. Once that's created, what we're going to do is the real-time rough model creation. So the Manifold 3, we're going to start kicking off the spatial scan. So the drone is going to kick off a 360 automatic scan of that zone, and the Manifold 3 will start processing the data on board mid-flight to create a geo-reference 3D point cloud. So that key benefit I keep talking about is the no landing or hovering to wait for processing, which eliminates a huge major slowdown from the standard Smart 3D capture workflow. So now on to route analysis and capture execution in Smart 3D Explorer. So you're able to transition seamlessly from that rough model to a high precision route with the Manifold 3. So real-time route analysis, so the pilot is able to see that streamed rough 3D model on the controller. The system suggests an accurate close-range path that hugs the complex surfaces, and you can edit, refine, or confirm it very, very quickly. So you can see that precise model, right? Precise model with the flight route around it. And so the drone is going to run the refined route to grab any detailed high-resolution images, ensuring a top-notch photo alignment, overlap, even on odd-shaped structures, as you can see, this building. And then the last step, mission complete. The whole thing wraps up in one continuous operation, speeding up your timeline with the full data set ready for any of your photogrammetry softwares. So this compatibility chart breaks down support for Smart 3D Capture Standard versus Explore Advanced. So for the Matrice 400 with the P1 payload, the standard Smart 3D Capture is supported, but the Explore is not. For the Matrice 4E, this works for both. You can do the Explore or the standard. The Explore does require the Manifold 3 add-on. And then the obstacle sensing module is compatible with the Matrice 4 series overall. And then note that the Manifold 3 does pair with the M400 for certain features, but the Explore feature right now is only available for the Matrice 4 series. I hope this helps you pick the right setup based on your drone and needs. So to wrap this up, let's address some frequently asked questions. So first advantage, what advantage does the Manifold 3 bring to the Matrice 4E missions? It processes data in real time. It's able to build models mid-flight and essentially allow automatic route tweaks for time savings and a better in-field precision. Can it handle areas with no prior mapping? Yes, it senses the environment on the fly and generates routes based on the fresh 3D model. Is the rough model accurate enough for planning? Absolutely. It's rough, but precise enough for close range analysis, capturing complex structures in just one go. Does this cut down on multiple missions? Definitely. It streamlines complicated surveys into a single flight, accelerating your projects dramatically. Thank you for watching today's training.